Hey everyone, how's it going? Cloud here, and welcome to my guide on the Rogue Trader mini quest. Now, the Rogue Trader mini quest is playable after completing the feud quest, so if you haven't completed that quest, if you go in the description below, I have a guide on that quest and you want to go and do that before you're able to do this. Now, there's 3 parts to the Rogue Trader mini quest. Each part allows you to buy something different from Ali Morrisane, and having fully unlocked all 3 parts is one of the requirements for getting a trimmed completionist cape, so that's probably why the main majority of you are here. The items that you can get from Ali Morrisane are sort of very limited kind of stock and don't have a massive availability on the Grand Exchange, so you might find you'll make yourself a fair bit of profit from buying the items from him and selling them on the Grand Exchange. However, don't expect to sell loads in bulk because when I basically tested this, I bought like 10 of the same item and only sold 5 on the Grand Exchange in a whole week, but made a fair amount of profit on them. So just a heads up on that note for you. So to complete all 3 parts of the Rogue Trading mini quest, you need the following requirements. So as I said, you need to have completed the feud quest in order to start this one. You must also have completed Rune Mysteries and it's Claren's Little Helper, as you'll be going to Sophanum. And as for items, you're going to need some coins, access to Pollniveach, such as having your house located in Pollniveach so you can teleport to the house portal, or having Pollniveach teleport scrolls that you can buy from the Grand Exchange will help speed up travelling, but obviously they're optional. Also Waterskins, as you'll be travelling in and out of the desert a few times, so you might choose to bring them with you. However, you will definitely need 3 dyes of any colour. They can be the same one, same colours or different colours, but you need 3 dyes regardless. And you also need 3 animal pelts of the same kind, which can be cowhide, sheep wool, snake skin, etc. I would stick to cowhides only because they're the easiest to obtain. So 3 dyes of any colour and 3 cowhides. So to start the mini quest, you want to speak to Ali Morrisane after you finish the feud quest, and you'll talk about giving his stall more availability of things you can sell. Now, when you first talk to him, he'll tell you to go speak to Aubrey in Varrock about a rune deal. Now, to reach Aubrey in Varrock, we're going to teleport to the Varrock Lodestone via the Lodestone network. Then we're going to head to his rune shop, which is located in the southeast corner of Varrock, basically sort of northeast of where we are now. So just head over to Aubrey. When you see him, you want to talk to him about the deal with Ali Morrisane and convince him to go ahead with it. Once you've spoken to Aubrey, you want to go back to the Ali Morrisane, and the quickest way to reach him is going to the Alcrid Lodestone, as he's just a short walk from there. Now, when you return to Ali Morrisane, he'll complain that there's an odd lock mechanism on the casket of runes and that he's unable to open them. Now, there's 2 caskets, a small and a large. Now, for both, you get these 3 options. You can choose to force the box, which you have a higher chance of success with the higher strength level you have. You can pick lock the box, and again, with you get a higher chance of success if your thieving level's higher. Or the third option is examine lock, which will present you with a rune Sudoku puzzle, which is basically like a normal Sudoku puzzle, but instead of numbers you got runes. Now, the small casket is quite possible to force or pick the lock on the casket, but that will all depend on your strength and thieving. However, on the large caskets, it's very, very, very rare to actually be able to do them, so for that one you're definitely going to have to examine the lock. For the purpose of this guide, I will show you both examine lock options for the casket so you understand what you need to do. So if you examine the lock on the small casket first, you'll be presented with a very small rune Sudoku puzzle. Now, it's like the normal game of Sudoku where you have to have the numbers going across and not basically having the same number on a same row. You're basically doing that with runes. Now, if you don't have much knowledge about Sudoku at all, I would just sort of Google search for sort of a very basic guide on how to complete it, but you shouldn't have much trouble at all with completing a small casket. I will show you a little snapshot of what my solved Sudoku puzzle looked like, so you get the idea what sort of thing you're going for, but obviously they are different for each player. So once you open the small casket, you'll be able to either buy all the runes from one go from Ali or buy them individually from his stall. If you are going to buy anything, I would do it individually because some runes are higher than price than what they are on the Grand Exchange and vice versa. So if you buy the correct runes, you can make some profit on the Grand Exchange from them. Now, once you've done the small casket, you then want to examine the lock on the large casket and you'll be presented with a bigger rune Sudoku puzzle, which is a lot harder to complete. Now, I can't exactly give you a guide on how to complete the Sudoku puzzle, as it's different for everyone and there's only so much you can learn with Sudoku. However, what I will do, in the description below, there's a link to a Sudoku puzzle solver. Now, basically, what I use this for is you can sort of generate what your current Sudoku puzzle looks like and choose to solve it on this website, and it will basically show you what numbers go where. Now, obviously, in this instance, we're using runes instead of numbers, but simply just replace each rune with a number. So starting from like mind rune going down, have mind as 1, fire as 2, air as 3, water as 4, earth as 5, body as 6, death as 7, chaos as 8, and law as 9. Now, if you set up on this Sudoku solver what you've currently got in terms of new number value, you can choose solve and it will give you a completed puzzle, and all you need to do is basically cross-reference it with your own rune Sudoku puzzle in game and just match the rune to the relevant number, and then you should be able to open the casket. I've got no other help for you on that one, so like I said, I've given you a link for it and it's worked for me by doing this, so hopefully it'll work for you and it makes sense what I've just explained. If you run into any real trouble, you'll probably be able to look up more about rune Sudoku on like the RuneScape wiki and find out a bit more on how to complete them, but the solution is different for each of you, because you'll be given a different puzzle, so you can't basically just copy what I've done. But yeah, the best option is to use that Sudoku solver that I will link in the description. Once again, when you have finally completed the large casket, you'll be able to either buy them all in one go or buy them individually. Again, for this one, I definitely recommend buying them individually, as only certain runes will be cheaper in here than they are on the Grand Exchange, and you don't want to be basically losing money. Once you have opened both a small and large casket, that will count towards your trim completionist cape, so you won't have to do it anymore unless you do decide to supply more runes for Ali's shop so you can buy them. So that's part 1 completed. Part 2 is to obtain BlackJacks from Pollniveach. Now, in order to obtain different types of BlackJacks, you've got defensive and offensive. You'll have to talk to the BlackJack seller in Pollniveach. So we're going to head there now. So either use your teleport to portal, like house portal if it's located in Pollniveach, or you can use a Pollniveach teleport scroll purchased from the Grand Exchange, or you can go to Shantae Pass and get a magic carpet to Pollniveach. But either way, I'll speak to you once you're there. You'll find the BlackJack seller just south of Ali the Kebab seller's building, and you'll need to talk to him and basically offer a partnership with Ali Morrisane. Now, you need to do the steps for both offensive and defensive, but you can do these in either order, but you need to do both for it to count towards the trim completionist. Now, for defensive BlackJacks, players need to go through the conversation with the BlackJack seller and choose the cunning plan. What you need to do is talk to the street urchin who asks you for 100 coins, and you'll find him nearby, and he will assist in convincing the BlackJack seller that he needs to produce some different equipment. When you talk to the trader, you'll see a little cutscene where the street urchin will basically steal from him, and it will convince him to supply defensive BlackJacks. What you then need to do is return to Ali Morrisane after this and speak to him, and then in his store you should now have defensive BlackJacks available. Once you've made sure that you've got defensive BlackJacks available, you then want to return to the BlackJack seller and then do the same but for offensive BlackJacks. So you'll get the option to do the other one. So cunning was for defensive. For offensive, you need to bet the BlackJack seller that he can knock you out with 2 hits. After he attacks you twice with no damage, he'll agree that the BlackJacks need to be stronger, and then you can return to Ali Morrisane and purchase offensive ones from him. Now, occasionally the BlackJack seller will knock you out, causing 30 damage, and this will cause you to go through the dialogue again and try and take the hits from him again. I don't think levels or anything depends on whether you get hit from him easily or not. I think it's all down to luck. So just basically keep talking to him until you successfully block both sort of hits from him, and then you should now have the option for defensive and offensive BlackJacks from Ali Morrisane. So once you've unlocked both offensive and defensive BlackJacks from Ali Morrisane, you can now do the final part, which is close from Sophanum. So what you need to do is head to Sophanum. So from Pollniveach you can talk to the carpet guy who is at the south side of the town and go to Sophanum, and then once you arrive go through the main gates. Now we need to locate a man called Simon who is found in the building with the spinning wheel around the silk skull, which is sort of on the eastern side of Sophanum. Once you find him and talk to him about partnering up with Ali Morrisane, he'll require different items depending on what clothing you want. Now, he'll either need 3 dyes for the desert outfits, or you will need 3 animal pelts like the cow hides for menophyte clothing. Now, you need to pick either one of those 2 to start with, and then head back to Ali Morrisane and talk to him and open his shop, and you should get the relevant clothing depending on what you gave first. So if you gave dyes first, you'll have desert outfits available to purchase. If you gave the cow hides first, you'll have menophyte clothing available. Once you've done that, he'll then ask you to return to Sephanum again and ask Simon to make additional clothing. So you would want to then go back to Sephanum and talk to the guy again, and then give the other 3 items that you didn't give him the first time. So if you gave him the dyes first, you're giving him the cow hides this time, and vice versa. When you then give him the items and return to Ali Morrisane once again, you'll have the other clothing available to purchase. And once you've made both these clothing available at Ali Morrisane's store, that is the Rogue Trader mini quest fully completed. So once you've done all this at least once, they'll all go towards your trimmed completionist cape. So you won't have to do it anymore unless you choose to do these different things to gain more items. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of this guide, some of the items you can make a lot of profit for, but it all comes down to sort of luck and that, and if anyone's actually buying them. Now, regarding the runes, obviously these prices are always constantly updating, so do not trust my word in the video. When you watch it, you'll want to check on the Grand Exchange yourself. But at the moment, 4 of the different runes in Ali Morrisane's store are slightly cheaper than the Grand Exchange, so you can either choose to buy these to have yourself in the bank, or you can sell them for a tiny bit of profit. Now, the main things that sell for massive profit are the different parts and the menophyte clothing and desert outfits. So this is the only way to obtain these items. Now, I wanted to test what these sort of items were trading like in the Grand Exchange, so basically I think I bought like 3 or 4 of each different clothing item. What I found to sell very well, obviously this might not be the same for you guys, so don't obviously go by my word on this and buy a hell of a load of them, but the fez, which is basically the desert hat, the red little hat, you can buy them from the store for 24 coins, and at the moment on the Grand Exchange they have a current sort of value of 1,000 coins. However, when I sold them on there, I managed to make just under 10,000 coins for each one I sold. Now, so basically, what might pay you off to sort of make a little bit of profit here and there as different weeks go by. If you go to Ali Morrisane's store and buy a few of the different desert clothing, you might be able to sell for quite a fair bit of profit on the Grand Exchange. However, you're never ever going to make a bulk amount of profit, so you're most likely to sell 1 or 2 now again, but you couldn't go and buy 100 of those desert hats and hope to sell them all off in one day. It's not going to happen. It all just depends if people are after these particular items at the current time and don't know how to get them. And obviously the same applies to the blackjack. Sometimes some people will be after a certain blackjack and will put a high bid in on the Grand Exchange, and it is all basically a luck of the draw. You might happen to try and sell one day when someone's offering quite a high amount for one. But yeah, the main purpose of this mini quest really is to go towards the trim completionist cape. There's not much purpose of this mini quest other than that, and not many other rewards to go with it. So yeah, that's it for my guide. I think the only thing you might get stuck on is the Rune Sudoku puzzle on the large casket. Like I said though, if you go to the thing that I've linked in the description and set that up correctly, you should be able to use that to solve the Sudoku puzzle and make it easier for you. If not, you guys are just going to have to practice a little bit of Sudoku and then come back to that puzzle at some point, and you might hopefully have a bit more luck with it. But I'm sure the solver will help you like it did me. But any other major problems at all, leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll help you out as best I can. But if not, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, favourite, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to share with your friends. Cheers guys, bye bye.